Hello, happy Tuesday night. My name is Ray Lloyd, and I am your host for tonight. So, I wanted to start out with asking you a question, but I'm going to first introduce the topic. So, tonight we are talking about confidence. And the reason why we're talking about that is it's not really something that can be taught, it's really something that comes, right? It happens with the experience that you have and really having different things grow on you in terms of, let's say, if you've helped 30 people lose weight, you're a lot more confident now than you were when you had just started and hadn't helped anybody yet, right? That's just kind of the way it works. But there are several areas that I feel personally that we can all really use some help on, perhaps, maybe some education, growing in some confidence so that we can feel more confident in those specific areas, because those might be some of the pushback areas that you will get from clients or people who are considering becoming a coach. And the more confident you feel in that area, the better off you'll be. Okay. So I want to first start out with this. Who thinks that I started out super confident as a coach? Leave a 1 in the chat. If I just came in banging, I was just like, Optavia, here I am. I'm going to help all of you lose weight. No worries. Didn't have any questions. All right. So you all think I was like super confident about this. I had all the answers. Well, I'd like to introduce you to somebody. And in order to do that, I'm just going to bring up my slides right here. Okay. We are going to slideshow this up. Okay. Okay. Let me just make that smaller. No, that's not going to work. Let's try that. Nope, not that either. This is always such a mess because it doesn't record behind it, whatever. Okay, that's not your problem. I'll move this a little bit. Okay, you see that girl on the left? That was the old me. Now, that's not just someone who had to lose 60 pounds and had full-blown, completely crazy Hashimoto's. My thyroid was like way out of whack. But if you see these screenshots on the left, in 2008, 2015, I was really miserable. I was starting a diet again, June 15th, 2008. That was what, 11 years ago. The one from 2015, sad. That girl was really sad. Again, in May, I wished I could lose weight. And then down at the very bottom, you see that little screenshot? So this is something I really want to impress on you guys. The girl who signed me up, who was my coach, is no longer in Optavia. Her coach, no longer in Optavia. Her coach, so we're talking 3 levels up, is the person who sponsored Drew and I. So don't forget the people 3 levels deep. Don't discount the people who are under people who maybe aren't blowing it up. Keep digging for gold, okay? Because you will find fibbles under people, okay? So the girl who signed me up didn't even know that we were coaches. You see here, she said, oh my God, Ray, this is on September 21st, 2016. You guys signed up as coaches? And I wrote back, crazy. My husband made me do it. Why? Because I had no interest in this. I didn't want to become a coach. Why is that? Because when I told my coach's coach that Drew had lost 40 pounds and needed to lose another 60, she said, hey, why don't you coach him? And I replied, I don't know anybody else. I really didn't think that if I paid $199 that I would even make that money back. And I said that. I said, I don't think I will ever make that investment back. It just makes no sense. And every dollar back then counted. Well, many thousands of people later, I've learned some confidence, right? And I want you guys to learn that confidence too, so that when these different questions come up, you're not like a deer in the headlights. So let me see if I can minus this out just for a second. Okay, I hope you can see this. Confidence is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. So basically, it's not something that you learn once. It's not something that just comes to you. It's not something that you're born with. Maybe some people are a little more confident than others. Maybe they appear a little bit more confident than others. But in this specific business, it's not the loudest people, and it's not the people who know the most people. I didn't know anybody. I'm still an introvert. I still would prefer to do this over go to a party with real people. I mean, like, talking about moving. I went to check out a new school, and the whole way there, I was like panicked about meeting someone I didn't know. And so don't take people at face value. We face our own demons every single day, and the ones who make it are the ones who didn't quit, not the ones who got lucky. Okay, so if I can help you feel a little bit more confident, would that help? Can you leave a 2 in the chat if you feel there are areas that you can improve on confidence-wise that would help you do better? Okay, that's blowing up. That would help you do better as a coach, or as a coach bringing on coaches, training coaches, because that's a whole nother beast, is it not? Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. Let me make that smaller so you can see it. Confidence. What is confidence? Confidence is believing in yourself so strongly that the world, or your clients, or your pre-clients, or the coaches that you're working with cannot help but believe in you too. That's really what it is. You see, because what you're doing in Optavia, in not only signing up people for health or helping coaches sign up people for health, is you're transferring your belief to other people. You're not forcing them. You're not selling them. You're not convincing them. You're just sounding so confident that people are like, ah, yes, give me some of what you have. So confidence is a decision. You will never earn it. You will never be born with it. You will never figure it out. It will come when you decide you have it. There will be a moment between when you're nervous as a coach and then you get on a health assessment and you're like, you kick butt. Remember that moment? Do you remember that moment when you were no longer scared, you were no longer shaking, you were no longer completely reading off every little sentence of the page and getting nervous because the person answered question number 5 and you're still on question number 2 and now you're completely messed up? To when you got to that place where you're like, dude, I got this. I can do a health assessment in a terminal of an airport. I can do it while changing a baby diaper. Like, I got this, right? So let me make this smaller too so you can see this. People trust confidence. If you are confident in what you are offering, people will say yes to you more often and will feel confident passing on this gift as well. If you're shaky and you're unsure and you're like, well, you know, I don't know, that maybe it can hurt you. And people are going to be like, well, this girl doesn't know anything and I'm scared. You know, they're not going to feel confident signing up with you because they're scared, because you sound scared. But if you sound confident, they're going to be like, okay, this is the girl for me, or this is the guy for me. This is the coach that can help change my life because they just told me so. All right. So, gosh, sorry about these slides. Let me make this smaller again. So how do you feel more confident when someone's pushing back on you? They're questioning you. They're asking either regular questions about plan, or they're getting really nitty gritty because they are skeptical. They are not a believer. Someone told them something about plan and they're like, well, I heard it can do such and such. Well, how are you going to answer them that you, number one, don't get completely thrown off your game, and number two, you actually believe in what you're saying and what you're offering and what you're telling them, so that they will say, oh, you know what? Yeah, okay. And if they decide not to sign up with you, that's on them. Definitely not on you. Who would like to end off a health assessment knowing that you gave it your 1000% all? There's no question that, oh man, did I totally bomb that? Who wouldn't want to do a health assessment like that, right? Okay, these are 3 things that you can do to sound more confident, to be more confident, to appear more confident, so that people are like, yes, I'm gonna trust you on this, okay? So number 1 is being more assertive. Now, assertive is not aggressive. Aggressive is not letting someone get a word in edgewise. Aggressive is like almost laughing it off. Aggressive is like, just trust me. Like, let's just, like, not answering their questions. No, you have the answers. You don't have to evade anything. So assertive is just a decision to be empowered when you talk. If someone would say to you, the sky is purple, you would be like, no, dude, no, it's not. Right? If someone says to you, is Optavia an MLM? You're like, no, dude, no, it's not. And I'm going to explain that to you today. You guys are going to be so confident, the world's not going to know what hit them after this Zoom. Okay. Now, number 2, be prepared. Do something like this. Send this training to your new coaches so that they have educated themselves, that they know what they're saying before they talk to people. Now, I'm not saying that you need to watch every single training that has ever been done. You need to read the entire book 75 times. You need to attend 3 different conventions. Like, no, that's not called educating yourselves. That's called getting stuck in the preparation without executing it. Don't do that. But just feel confident in your education, meaning you did plan for a day. So you know how to get at least 5 feelings in, right? Or you've read a couple of chapters of Dr. A's book, or you've gone on a couple of trainings. So you kind of have your foot in the door. And the last thing I would suggest you do to feel more confident is to believe in the company. If you are Optavia, not just doing Optavia, if you are part of Optavia, not just working for Optavia, then it will be non-negotiable for you to feel confident about something. For example, if a coach is frustrated that they waited for a while trying to get through to coach services and ask a question, if they insult them, that's like them insulting your mom. Like, you need to take that seriously, and you need to say, you know what? I'm going to help you with this. If you need, go up to your Fibble. Your Fibble has access to stuff that maybe other people don't and can help you clear up the issue or answer the question, or chances are your Fibble might already know the answer. But don't agree with them. Don't be like, yeah, dude, it's been rough. Listen, there's been some growing pains that we've all had to go through. None of us are naive to it, but a leader shows up confident that the company will always back them. A leader will never say something negative about the company, because we are all the company. And when the client or the coach sees that you and Optavia are one, that you're in alignment, that you're together in heart and spirit and in business, they're not going to feel so comfortable telling you, like, gosh, they'll kind of come to you and say, listen, can you help me? Instead of it becoming a bash fest of like how terrible it's been and why are there yogurt chips in the brownie, which, by the way, it's like the greatest thing that ever happened to us. I don't know why someone would complain about that. It's like freaking amazing. But so those are 3 areas that you can immediately appear more confident. People are going to want to partner up with you. They're going to feel in alignment with you because you sound like you know what you're talking about. And the truth is that you do. Oh my goodness, where is my little arrow? All right, let's try it this way. Okay, these are the 5 areas that I am going to make you so confident that you now know the answers that you are going to show up like an Optavia boss. Like, you're just gonna be awesome. Okay, so let me make this smaller again so you can see. All right, number 1, MLM. Do you know why Optavia is not multi-level marketing? Number 2, do you think plan is expensive? Are you balking at the cost so people are balking at the cost? Exercise. Do you know why we don't work out on 5-in-1 and what other plans are available if the client insists on it or is like in the Army or something? Packaged food. How to properly address why we eat fuelings. And soy. Yeah, I am taking that right outside the can, and we're going to talk about that tonight. Why is soy good for you? Okay, so let me, hold on. Let me figure this out because now it's not letting me change this. There we go. Okay. All right. Okay. So, number 1, I'm going to talk about MLM, why we're not multi-level marketing, and then I'm going to bring on some other amazing coaches to kind of talk about all the other different areas and help you feel more confident. Now, this is not just to educate you, this is to allow you to feel like you know this so well that you can educate others, right? You are now either a potential leader or a growing leader or are a leader, and your job is not only to feel confident in this so that your clients understand, but you're so confident that you can teach a coach how to teach a coach how to teach a coach, right? That's how we all get, oh, I don't have the income sheet up here, but that's how we all get really, really rich, okay? So do you know what multi-level marketing is? And how does Optavia separate, like what sets us apart from some of these other companies? Now, I wanna say this right here, disclaimer. Some of you might be part of another multi-level marketing company. I have no issue with it. I am not calling anyone out. I'm just simply explaining why we are not, and that you can feel confident that we are a franchise model. So if someone is balking out, oh, I can't sign up with you because you're an MLM, you can be like, no, we're not. And you can explain why we're not. So multi-level marketing is all about the selling. So they are selling water bottles, because I don't want to call it any specific company. They are selling water bottles, and that is what they're focused on, is selling the water bottle. We do not start off with a product. If you even see the structure of the health assessment, it starts out with them and their motivation and their bad habits and their energy levels, and they explain to us why they so badly need health. We offer them health in body, mind, finances, friendships, community, all of that. We do not go in saying, you know, we sell this s'mores bar, and if you eat it 5 times a day, you might get healthy. No, that's opposite. We are not about the selling, we're about the offer. Number two, multi-level marketings, many of them, not all of them, some of them drop ship, but many of them you have to buy inventory and then you have to distribute the inventory. There are some that if you don't buy a certain amount of inventory, you don't even get paid. Optavia, you are not allowed to stock inventory. You are not allowed to sell bars. If they find out that you're doing that, I don't want to say what would happen because I don't really know, but I don't think it would be good. You know, you're not allowed to stock inventory. You buy your own. You stay integrous and purchasing your fuelings under your coach in the first week of the month. And then everyone else buys their fuelings under you. We are allowing them access to the thing that will help them get healthier, but we are not selling them the product. Multi-level marketing makes money and even can advance in rank in some companies. And I've done a lot of research on the different companies now, not because I wanted to join them so I could be confident in telling you this. They make money on selling rep kits, or let's say coach kits, so that you understand what it is. You know, they have people who are selling what they're selling or offering what they're selling. But let's first start with, they might not even be doing anything. They're coming into the company with the idea of getting a discount if they become a rep. They might not even be helping anybody. They might not have ever even had the intention of selling whatever it is that their company sells. They just joined for the discount. Now, the company pays that coach or advances that coach in rank or that rep in rank based on the amount of reps that they signed up. But these reps are empty. They're empty houses. They're not doing anything. They have no clients. You understand? Optavia, we are not in the business of selling coach kits. In fact, I will not even allow a coach, well, not allow because I'm not in charge of anyone, but you understand, I don't bring up the subject of buying a coach kit until that coach has a client. And if a coach does buy a coach kit and they go rogue and they buy it, you don't make any money on that. There is no incentive for us to sell coach kits because it doesn't do anything for us. And if that's not integrity, I don't know what is. MLMs lead with the money. Optavia leads with the health. Can we offer them a job? Absolutely. Should you be offering them coaching? Definitely. But is the most important thing that ever happens to that client is them getting healthy and living a longer, healthier life? Definitely. That's the focus. Okay. So we are a franchise similar to McDonald's, except we don't kill people. Does that make sense? Like, there are banks that run like this. There are doctor's offices that run like this. In fact, I personally believe, and this is my personal belief, this is not representing anything else, but I believe that most 9-to-5 jobs are MLM, because you have the CEO and then you have the managers and the supervisors and all the little people. And these little people usually work a lot harder than the people on top, and they will never, ever, ever get to the income, the raises, the status of the CEO. With this company, however hard you work, you will get paid for. You can advance in rank above someone who brought you into the company. You can even make more money than someone who brought you into the company. They are simply there to train you. They do not hold you back. And that, I think, is absolutely beautiful. Okay. Now, I'm going to bring on Bobby Fogg. This was the best picture I could find. Everything else is with, like, people. So I was like, this one's staring out in yonder, you know, whatever he's looking at. So, Bobby, let me take this off share for just a sec so I can take you off mute. Okay, you there?
I am here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, awesome. Now I'm going to share again so that you can use the slides. Hold on. Okay, there's Bobby again, and here's the slides. Okay, if you need me to move anything around, just tell me. You go ahead and take it.
Yep, that's awesome. Thank you, Ray. So first of all, guys, I want to take a second to acknowledge Miss Ray Lloyd. Ray, I mean, I got to say that just watching you over the last year and a half, and the amount of value that you bring to the community is simply awesome. And Trish and I deeply value our friendship with you and Drew. So just know that we're super proud of you guys. Beyond that, I want to get into cost. So cost is, in my opinion, one of the hardest things most new coaches have addressing with pre-clients. So I'm going to get into that. But one of the things I want to ask really quickly before we get into that is, how many coaches, either right now in your coaching practice or coaches that have been around a while at some point throughout your coaching practice, have had troubles addressing cost, or challenges or concerns addressing cost? If that's you, put a 3 in the chat, seeing Ray's already used up 1 and 2. See all those threes coming in? So the reason why I want to do that is because I want you to understand, especially the newer coaches on this line, that if you're facing challenges addressing the cost in an assessment, understand that you're not the only one. You know, this is a common thing that people have to learn. It's a skill set. And just like Ray was talking about, the health assessment's a skill set. Those are things that you need to learn to go through this process. And the reality is, you could be an absolute rock star on social media with a 3x3x3, and you could have a line of people lined up to talk to you. But if you don't have the skill set to effectively conduct a health assessment and move the person from point A to point B, unfortunately, that skill set of social media and everything else is going to go to waste. So my encouragement to you is, if you do not feel comfortable in doing a health assessment, reach out to your business coach, reach out to your FIBC, and have them help you walk through that. Plus, there's some incredible trainings in the Eccles organization that talk specifically about health assessments. But the purpose of my slide here is to talk about cost. So the first thing I want you to understand is, you know, the cost of the program. We need to understand price versus cost. Okay, and what I mean by that is, when we look at the price of the program, the price of the program is $400. So my question to you is, do you think $400 is expensive? Do you think that's a lot of money? Because here's the reality: the price of the program is $400, but the cost is far less than that. And what I mean by that is, when people come into this program, they are paying $400, but what that's doing is that's offsetting the amount of money they're already spending on food. But instead of spending it on food that's unfortunately making them unhealthy and overweight, they're now going to be spending it on food that's going to move them towards their goals. All those things that they tell you within that health assessment. So we've got to understand that even though the program costs $400, the cost of the program is far less than that, because the reality is, most people save money on this program. My wife and I saved over $200 on this program. Over 60% of our clients report saving money on this program. And I have a feeling the majority of you on this call most likely ended up saving program. The problem is from a client standpoint, when we say $400, it's hard for them to kind of bridge that gap. So that's our job to do that. So the key thing is if you think this program is expensive, the unfortunate piece to that is you're going to project that feeling and that emotion onto your pre-client. And I can tell you, they're going to adopt that feeling and emotion if you don't present it correctly. So if you do feel this is an expensive program, understand, again, the price versus the cost. Now, the second thing is, do you show them the value of the program? Now, here's the thing. Ray did an excellent job describing what our role as a coach is. You know what I mean? And the things that we do as a coach. And one of the things we don't do is, we're not bar and shake salesmen or women, right? What we do is, we're agents of transformation. And when we go through the health assessment, there's a couple of fundamental things that we do in there. The first thing is, we get crystal clear with that pre-client where they're at, what their current reality is, right? Because here's the reality. Most people that we're talking to on the other line, they don't talk about those things. Most people have that stuff suppressed so far within them, and they never have anybody that they can talk to. And it's our job in the assessment to put that mirror up in front of them so they can get present on their current reality and connect the emotion to their present reality. That's the first step of the assessment. That's why we're asking the questions that we're asking. The second step of the assessment is what? We're painting a picture of possibility for them, to show them that the things they tell us they want the most, that we can assist them to get to that point. So it's our job to bridge the gap between where their current reality is and connecting them to what they say they want. Because we know, when it comes to health, when it comes to, you know, the trilogy overall, you know, our mental health through the habits of health, you know, our physical health through the fuelings and the program and the programs that we offer, and financial health through the coaching opportunity, we know we have solutions that fit all of those parameters. So if we're helping them see the potential there and we're painting that possibility for them, when we get to the point where we start to address cost, I can tell you the cost piece or the price piece really isn't a big picture for them. Because if we can do that, if we can help them solidify their will, they're going to make a way, and I can promise you that. Okay, so you got to make sure that you're presenting value through the assessment so they see what they're getting involved with. Because just like Ray said, talking about MLM, there's a lot of companies out there spamming everybody, you know, talking about magic coffees and I don't know, beans that give you superpowers and all these different things, and everybody's just sick of it. You know what I mean? Our process is completely unique because we focus on the person, and our goal is to help that person accomplish their goals. So make sure that you're showing them the value. The third thing is, how do you present cost? Do you ask how much they already spend a day and show them they will save money? Now, this is the biggest thing that I think most newer coaches need to learn to help them present the cost properly. So there's a question in the assessment that is one of the most important questions when it comes to addressing cost. And that question is, the typical American spends anywhere from $15 to $20 per day on food and drink. What would you estimate that you spend? Right? Because if we ask that question, the reality is most people don't know that number. As a matter of fact, out of the hundreds of assessments that I've done, I've only had one person actually know that number. And it was a financial advisor that teaches people about budgeting. So I would hope that he knows that number, and he knew it to the cent. But everybody else, they don't know that number, right? But we're going through that process. And a clarification question that I ask or follow up with that is, and that includes, fast food, restaurants, grocery shopping, gas stations, coffee shops, vending machines, right? Because when you ask that question initially, the first thing they're thinking about is the last meal they had or the grocery bill they just paid. The coffee shops, the vending machines, the gas stations, they're not even thinking about that. So if you follow it up with that clarification question, that's what's going to expand them to start thinking through it. And they're going to give you a range. And the reality is most people spend between $15 and $20 per day on food, even though they may not recognize that, right? So the purpose of that is we're understanding that. But when I get to the point where I actually address cost, you got to address cost confidently. And the reality is, because most people save money on this program, we've got to present it in that manner. So what I say when I get to the cost portion, after I've gone through the 4 components, I pretty much say, what, the best part of this plan is it's so affordable. Earlier, you had mentioned that you spend approximately $15 to $16 per day on food. Well, the great news is this program only costs about $13.50 per day for your first month. So the benefit to that is, you're not going to be spending the money that you're currently spending on the food that's making you unhealthy. Now you're spending it on the food that's going to help you get to those goals that you just told me that you wanted to accomplish. And I can assure you that can happen. And you need to understand that that's not above and beyond your current budget. That's actually replacing a lot of what you're already spending. So just know that, right? So we've got to present that confidently, because if we come into it and, we're all hem-hawing around the price and, we're not confident in presenting it, trust me, they're going to pick up on that. But the biggest issue is most people don't present it in a daily expense. They present it in a monthly expense. So they come out of the gate and they say the cost is $405. And again, even though the person may be able to afford that, for $405 for something that they may not have confidence in yet, it builds a wall. So if you break it down into a bite-sized chunk, it's a lot easier for people to look at that amount and accept it for what it is and be willing to move forward and invest in themselves on that amount. Now, when I get to the point where they're ready to move forward and I collect their credit card information, if they haven't already asked what the total cost is, that's when I tell them. So just so you know, I'm going to run your credit card and it's going to come out to about $405. That way there's no confusion there. They understand exactly what the cost is. But by that point, they're already mentally connected to the decision and they're ready to move forward. Okay. The last thing is, do you drip coaching? So the first thing you should do when someone mentions finances is offer coaching as a solution. This is another thing that I think coaches newer in their business are afraid to do. Here's the reality, guys. When it comes to coaching, we offer something that can dramatically impact and change people's lives, not only physically and mentally, but financially. And if you're a coach and if you've been a coach for any certain period of time, you know the impact financially that this has had on you, right? So when it comes to layering coaching, there's a couple things that I do. So if somebody says finances, there's just no way. I say, do you personally know 5 people who are looking to improve their weight or improve their health or lose weight? The reality is, whether it's family members, whether it's neighbors, whether it's friends, colleagues, people know at least 5 people. You can't walk around your block without knowing people who are looking for better health in their life, right? So when they say, yes, I know 5 people, and I said, that's how you can pay for your program. I can teach you how to do what I do, and you can not only earn the amount of money to pay for your program, but I can also teach you how to make a lot more money than that. Is that something that you're open to? Right? And then that just plants that seed. That's a way that you can do it. Okay. So layering coaching is so important. There's a couple of additional points that I want to make here from questions that I commonly get asked. So what do we do when someone lowballs the number? When we ask somebody what they spend per day and somebody comes in with a lowball number like I spend $8, right? Or I spend $5. They may actually spend that number, but what I pay attention to is in the questions where they're telling me what they eat every day, how many times they go out to eat, things like that, because I know from what they tell me in those questions, what range they're going to most likely be in. So pay attention to that stuff, and that's how you can go back. Because what I'll say is, okay, so you spend about $8 per day. So earlier you had mentioned that you go out to eat about 3 to 5 times a week. Let's break that down. Then you just kind of start to dissect that, and it helps them see a bigger picture of what they're actually spending. The second thing that you can do on that is we'll tell people, do me a favor. Like, if you really want this, go back and check your budget over the last 1 to 3 months and write down every expense that you've paid towards food and drink. And then give me that number so we can actually see what you're spending. And I can tell you, every time that we've done that, 100% of the time that the client has actually done it, they've come back and it's blown their mind how much they spend on food. And it's a no-brainer decision at that point in time. Okay, so that's a tip that you can do. Let's see. That's pretty much it. That's what I got. So here's the thing, guys. We know that we have a gift to offer people. We offer people freedom. Freedom in their health. We offer people freedom in their finances. We offer people freedom in just the mental state that they live in day to day based off of the things that they learn through our community and through the habits of health. Don't hold that back from giving that gift away to people, because there are millions upon millions of people out there who need what we have. We just have to be brave enough. We have to be willing enough and courageous enough to go out there confidently and show them what we're capable of and how we can assist them to bridge the gap from what their current reality is to what their dreams and goals are and where they truly want to be in life. So Ray, thank you for letting me come on.
Amazing. That was perfect. Listen, if you guys do that and the person still hasn't signed up, they just don't want to get healthy yet. They just don't want to, and your work is done. You have done what you were supposed to do. You will follow up. You will continue to be their friend. You will continue to show health. But if you show them that they're going to save money and that their health is worth it and they still said no, you didn't do anything wrong. You were confident and they said no. That's it. Okay, now we're going to bring on Chavs, who does not have her hand raised. Hold up. Oh, her hand is raised. That's so weird. Hold on. Where is she though? All right, guys, it's been, oh, there we go. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to unmute you. Do we hear you?
I don't know, do you?
We hear you. Okay, awesome. Let me share. Hold on. Okay, your slides. So this is the beautiful Chavs, and she is going to talk to you today about what someone says to you and like, oh no, but I exercise, and they have like 100 pounds to lose. I exercise and it's really important for your cardio health, and I can't. For my mental state, we've heard them all, right? So I want you guys to feel so confident in understanding why we don't exercise on the 5-in-1 that you're able to confidently explain it to someone. I've never gotten pushback once I started to say this confidently. They're like, oh, okay. So take it away.
Okay, so the first thing is I would just edit that and say exercising on 5-in-1 is not suggested. It is discouraged. You cannot work out and do 5-in-1. It will not work. You will fail, ultimately. When I explain it to people, I talk to people and they are like, well, you know, exercising is really important. And I'm like, it is. It is really important after you get the fat off your body. If you're doing both things at once, they're fighting against each other constantly and you're not going to have the results you want. First, let's get the fat off your body. Then let's start exercising and start building up muscle. Muscle weighs more. If your client is working out while on 5-in-1, the scale is not going to move the way they want it to, which will discourage them, which will make them make poor choices, which will make them fall further and further out of fat burn. So it's just like this vicious cycle that you could have prevented by being like, nope, you're not going to work out. You can go on a walk. You can do some light exercise and some light toning, but that's it until you get the weight off. For every 1 pound of fat on your body, when you remove each 1 pound of fat, takes 4 pounds of fat, 4 pounds of pressure off your joints. I'm not good at math, but like that's That's a lot of pressure on your joints. When I was 70 pounds overweight, I wanted to work out, but I couldn't. I couldn't run. I lost 70 pounds and I could just go. That's just a lot of, it's not good for your body. It puts damage on your joints and it doesn't help anyone's health to end up with that kind of problems. And then the third thing is that you're not eating enough calories at all. And so our program is completely scientific. We put you into this perfect space where it allows your body to burn off fat. If you start burning off 400 calories, 600 calories in some crazy Zumba class, you took your body out of that state. And now your body is going to hold on to everything. And you're going to be hungry. And it goes back to the first one. And you're going to be hungry and you're going to make poor choices. And the scale's not going to move. So it just doesn't help them. If your client is in the Army, if your client is a workout instructor and has to work out all day long, then we've got a plan for them. They can do 4 and 2 and they can be really successful. They can do 4 and 2. They can exercise at least 3 times a day on that plan and lose weight. It's not the same like awesome fat burn that we all love, but it doesn't mean that when you talk to someone that you have to turn them away. I've coached a few people on the 4 and 2 plan who insist on working out. And I always posture it as, okay, we're going to start you on the 4 and 2 plan. And when you start to see how this plan works, you might see that you can give up the working out for a little bit longer because they've got more than 20 pounds to lose. They're going to start to see the beauty and the ease of our program, and they will likely be able to envision themselves dropping the exercise just for that time. And yeah, that is why we do not exercise in 5 and 1.
Perfect. I hope that helps you guys feel more confident when you are telling someone we don't work out. If you don't feel confident when you tell someone that, you're going to end up sounding like you don't really know why, or you kind of are like, well, you guess you could, you know what I mean? And then they're like, what plan is this? You know? But if you're like, dude, you're going to do so much better without working out. The truth is, there are some people that really love it, but a lot of them think that they need to do it so that they can outrun the fork. When in fact, if you gave them permission to be healthy without the assumption that working out has to be there, they're actually super relieved. So give them that permission to realize that health right now does not have to include working out. And then you can tell them, listen, when we transition you off, I will give you a TEE that allows you to build up muscle, okay? All right. The next thing I want you guys to feel confident in is what Drew is going to present to you, which, let me just stop this share real quick so I can bring him on, is packaged food. Give me a 4 if someone has ever said to you, I eat organic, but they have 100 pounds to lose. I eat organic and I don't eat artificial Okay, you guys feel very, very passionate about this. I can't eat from a package. My nutritionist told me that I can only eat something that was grown from the ground. So, Drew, are you off mute?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome.
Okay, so you can have your slides, but I wrote my own thing anyway, so whatever, it's all good. So this is what I don't get pushback on packaged food, honestly. I'm just going to say it. I was talking to Ray before this. I'm like, not many people have said anything about packaged food to me. I don't know. But maybe I haven't spoken to a bunch of people who are only eating from the ground. This is what I have for you. So basically, first off, I want you to think of who it is that you're talking to. Everybody has a concept about something. So their concept here is when they hear, and you didn't say to them, by the way, we're sending you packaged food. You're going through about their health and the plan that's going to work for them. And at the end, you're wrapping up with you're going to be eating more often and you're going into whatever plan it is for them. So we're going to be sending them fuelings. So when they hear whatever it is, they think to themselves packaged food, or it's coming from somebody that's not a grown thing from the ground, they automatically think that it has chemicals in it, They think that the food is making them lose the weight. They're thinking that whatever negative they've heard from Google or the person that has tried X, Y, and Z, that is what they think of when they think of packaged food. So they don't think what we know, which is there are probiotics, there are vitamins. They're not thinking about the plan, which is actually helping them get healthy. They're just thinking about the one focus, which is so not even the big picture, but they're just thinking about the packaged food. So you have to come into that with that idea that when you're speaking to people, they're going to have a concept. And when you listen, people don't know what they don't know. So, if you get something like, why can't I just eat my own food? I've had that before too. And the reality of it is, and it ties together, is that most people are lazy. Most people, if you would ask them, if you'd go through the whole bit about their health and exactly what their day looks like, and then you tell them that they have to cut up vegetables and prep chicken every single day, 6 times a day, they would say, "You're nuts. Thank you for your time." So this is an easy way for them to do a program which takes the guesswork out of it. Everything is non-artificial sweeteners. There are probiotics, vitamins. It's their daily nutrition. So they've got everything broken down into a 1/6 of their day. And so it's really when you understand, we know exactly what we have to offer, but when you kind of have that mind frame of they just don't know, and you are able to explain it to them in this way, and instead of them getting off the phone still thinking that it's packaged food, but you've explained to them the value and the benefit it has to them and why we've chosen to do this way. And they're going to learn when they read Dr. A's Habits of Health. Dr. A talks about why we use fuelings. And I've had one that goes in from this of the packaged food and why can't we eat our own food. One of the questions I have had is, well, am I going to be on bars for the rest of my life? Well, personally, I think the fuelings taste awesome. And if they're low glycemic and healthy and have everything that I need, I am very willing to eat them. But the way that I'm explaining it to them is that the idea of 5-in-1 or insert whatever program that the client is going to be on is not the rest of their life. It's just that we're at the place that they're at right now. If you would take someone that is 50, 100 pounds obese, and you would say that if you would describe it to them that they're going to have to, do this prep and cut up vegetables and figure out what their calorie intake is for the day, it would seem like this mountain. So first we want to attack what it is that they're going to be doing, which is balanced, being able to burn off that fat. And then Dr. A talks about it later on in the book about exactly what they're going to be doing and not just living on fuelings for the rest of your life, because 5-in-1 is not the optimal health. It's just the vehicle that they're going to use to be able to get to their optimal weight. And if they want to use fuelings after, that's awesome. But that's not the actual lifestyle. That's just to create the habits for the long-term health.
Awesome. Perfect. So to wrap a pretty bow up on that, let's call a spade a spade. I don't know how many of you came to program needing to lose 50 pounds, but had incredible eating habits, knew exactly what you should be putting in your body, were totally willing to prep and get the probiotics in, take all your vitamins, wait at all your food 6 times a day, and you only, no, that wasn't, no. Okay, so you were like me that were eating marshmallow fluff out of the container with chocolate chips because it was gluten-free. I couldn't figure out why I wasn't losing weight. If that sounds more like you, then heck yeah, I still eat fuelings. I don't want to prep my food 6 times a day. I eat a breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I have my fruits. I don't eat any grains, so I cut that out completely because I am gluten-free. And I have that brownie that I mentioned with the yogurt chips. I just had one. It helps me be healthy. People will come to that realization when they realize how incredible this program is. But when someone is obese and sick and tired of being sick and tired, they can't even fathom that. They can't even imagine losing 10 pounds. So the idea of eating, of course they're going to ask, do I have to eat this forever? No, that's not what's keeping your weight off. The habits are. You can implement those habits to your everyday life. And I always tell them, you are not going back to regular life. You are always moving forward to your new life. That may include fruit. It will. But I want them to know they're not going back. And if they want to utilize fuelings, wonderful. If they want to become a coach and utilize fuelings, even better. All right, so the last thing I'm going to address now is the soy. And then I'm going to give you some advice on how to become more confident. Like, you might be scared, right? So we're going to talk about that. So basically, the first thing, well, you know what? Let's do a number again. Have you ever been told, leave me a 7, if you've ever been told that soy causes cancer? Have you ever been told that soy will mess up your fertility? Have you ever been told, yeah, okay. Well, let's talk about that. So this is all from the Optavia soy document, which exists. Print it out if you'd like to. There is also a video of Dr. A talking about soy. He literally just goes right there. There's a doctor talking about how it does not cause breast cancer. So if you feel like you need to hear this, find those videos. Ask your business coach where they are. They are readily available to you. But this is also all from, like I said, the Optavia soy document. Okay. Soy is a great source of protein that may lower the risks of heart disease, osteoporosis, and certain forms of cancer. Let me go back to make a disclaimer. I am not a doctor. I am not a nurse. I have no medical training. I am not making any claims here. I'm simply reading what I copied from the Optavia soy document and put it here, okay? So number 1, soy has 9 essential amino acids and is low in saturated fat and is naturally cholesterol free. So it is an incredible source of protein. Now, one of the benefits of soy food is due to their isoflavone content. Now, this is where people are like, it's gonna ruin my fertility. Well, I have, again, no disclaimers, no claims here. I don't have a disclaimer here, but I have 250 Optavia babies that would prove this wrong. So isoflavones are part of a larger group of compounds called phytoestrogens or plant estrogens, and they are not the same as human hormone estrogen. Results from human studies are supportive of the safety and beneficial effects of isoflavones. There are many effects of them. We had in our client support group, had an oncologist go live in our group talking about this and how, you know, it's beneficial to you. Now, some people might have an actual allergy. I am not talking about those people. Those people could also be allergic to peanuts. Do peanuts cause cancer? No. Remember, separate those two things. And also remember that not everything you Google is true. People are looking for excuses, and so they're going to latch on to this because they're so scared that this might be their saving grace. And if this is their saving grace and they don't do it, what does that mean? Did they just chicken out, right? Understand the psychology behind, we all went through that moment. You went through that moment of like, okay, what fork in the road am I going to take? And thank goodness we all took the right path, but some people are so scared of that path. So understand that sometimes they're just throwing this up at you because they're simply scared. And if you explain this confidently, they're going to take your hand and they're going to say, please help me, right? So just, it all comes down to confidence. Don't make medical claims that you cannot back. But this, like I said, it's all from the Optavia site. It's in Coach Answers. So research has shown that Asian women who consume a lot more soy than they do in America are 30% less likely to develop breast cancer in comparison to those eating little soy. Soy foods may help reduce the recurrence of breast cancer and or the risk of death in women with breast cancer. In fact, being overweight or obese can increase the risks of cancer. The ACS states that breast cancer survivors can safely eat soy. I don't want you fighting with people if their doctor said they can't. I find that some doctors are not educated fully in this, perhaps. Again, not making any claims, but I've seen it, you know, and I don't want to cause any issues with them. Sometimes you just have to respect someone where they're at. They may eventually come back to you like, hello, my name is Ray Lloyd, and I said I couldn't eat soy, so I avoided this plan for 2 years until I finally did it and lost 60 pounds. I'm not just talking out of imagine it, like this literally happened to me. Lastly, there is no clinical evidence suggesting that soy protein can lower testosterone levels in men or reproductive hormones in women. The American Thyroid Association, however, concluded that there was no evidence that soy has any detrimental effects on thyroid function. I personally followed my labs every single month while on plan, and I was fine. Now, again, I might just be one individual, not making any medical claims, but I've never seen anything detrimental with me eating soy and my thyroid. Optavia does have on their form, though, that they suggest waiting 1 to 3 hours after taking thyroid meds before eating soy. But to follow your labs, as everyone is an individual, and what affects one won't affect the other. I personally ate soy right after taking my meds, and I was okay. If they want to, there are soy-free fuelings that they can take if that makes them feel more comfortable. Now let's talk about, sorry guys, but we're going to go here, bleeding in women. A lot of people will blame it on the soy. It's actually losing fat. Fat cells contain estrogen. The more fat cells you have on your body and the more you release it, the more estrogen you are putting into your body. There is no way around it. It's either that or remaining obese for the rest of your life. If a woman is getting her period a little wacky, spotting a little bit, that's normal. It's not the soy, it's the fat burn. It will stop. It totally evens out. And so if you get your period for a couple of days longer, but you lost 10 pounds that month, like, you know what I'm saying? Sorry, guys, I had to go there. So you all feel confident in answering that question. And it doesn't happen to everybody. All right. Now, what resources are available to you if you do have a question? Because guys, you don't have to know everything. You shouldn't, in fact. Like I said, start now and find out later. So if you aren't feeling confident, you can always say, you know what? That is an incredible question. I'm going to get back to you. And if they text it to you, then you don't even have to say that. Just quickly reach out on your business chat. Your mentors are your best resource no matter what. If they're not available or they say, you know what? Call one of these places, then that would be your next step. But always go to your mentors first. Don't start calling coach support. Not sure about someone's, just ask your mentors first and they will direct you to one of these 3 places possibly. So your team page has a ton of information. Whatever team page you're in, I mean, resources galore. So use the search button, the search bar rather, find a video on it, find a post on it. Your mentors are giving you literally so much information all the time. So you can totally feel confident in watching those and learning something more. If that there's nothing there, right? That fails. Coach support. You call them. They are for your coach questions, your business questions, your shipping questions, your compensation questions. You do not ask nutrition support when your bonus is coming out, okay? They don't know. Nutrition support is if you have a question about a product. They are no longer fleshing out recipes and breaking them down, so that's something that you need to know. But they will tell you if a certain ketchup is allowed on plan and how many condiments it is. So understand the difference between coach support, nutrition support, and then coach answers. Dude, there's like a ton of stuff on there. You just Google it, and they have resource upon document that can really help you feel confident as well. Like I said, your holy grail is your business chat. I always say a quiet business chat is a shrinking business. When someone is blowing up their business chat with questions, you are not bothering your coach. Your coach loves when you do that because the more educated you are, the better a coach that you will be and the more confident you will sound. Okay, we're going to end off with this. Ways to build self-confidence. Number 1, positivity. Stamp out the negativity. Get rid of the negative thoughts, or sometimes it's even people. Negativity, negative people, negative thoughts, negative affirmations are your number 1 enemy. Positivity is an essential element in your own self-confidence. You will sound more confident when you think positively. Courage. You must do the things that challenge you. It is impossible to feel more confident, and all you do is think about the things that you want to do, but then never actually do them. That will actually create less confidence. Get outside your comfort zone. Go do the things. You will feel more confident every time you achieve it. Resilience. Don't be afraid to fail. When you do, because sometimes people say no to us, and sometimes executive directors walk away from their business. Hi, my name is Ray Lloyd, and that has happened to me. It will happen. Things are going to happen in your business, and you will feel disappointed, but do not get stuck in that rut of disappointment. Learn from your mistake. Ask your coach questions. Grow in your confidence. Move on. People will say no. People will quit. People will make fun of you. Be resilient and keep going. Your team. Never, ever underestimate the power of utilizing your mentorship. They have been there. They have done that. Ask for their advice. Follow the system. If you're not following the system, you're not going to feel confident because it hasn't been proven to work. If you follow the system, Gina has followed the system. If you want Gina's business, you will feel confident in following the system. Do you see how those marry? Okay. You don't have to know everything, but you do have to know who to ask. And lastly, your health. Contending in your own health will always lead to feeling more confident, getting to your goal, staying on track with your eating habits, setting new goals. This will help you when you talk to others because you won't feel like a liar. You won't feel like a fraud. When they say when you're in fat burn, your business is in fat burn, that is true. And you don't have to always be in fat burn. You just have to be always moving forward. You got to goal, now you work out, or now you take walks, or now you read the book again, or now you help more people, or now you talk about your water, or whatever it is, set more goals, keep moving forward. Remember, we're never going back to what we used to be. We're always moving forward. When your health is always continuing to improve, you will feel more confident. It's just the way it is. Confidence, or the lack thereof, shows up everywhere, in the way you speak, in the way you post, in the way you do a health assessment, in the way you answer coaches' questions, in the way you do a check-in, and in the way you offer coaching. Remember, your confidence level can be the key to your client saying yes or no. When you exude confidence, your aura and demeanor will draw people to you. I hope that this helped you. And I honestly think that everyone's businesses are going to blow up now because you have no more qualms about any of these topics. But if you do have questions, of course, business chat. All right, guys, we are 5 minutes early. I hope that you forgive me. And we will see Gina again next week. So have a good night. Talk to you later.